Hey, what's up everyone? So today we're diving into something I've been wanting to talk about for a while now. Two absolute beast games that came out and basically took over the action genre. God of War Ragnarok and Devil May Cry 5. Now look, I know what you're thinking, aren't these games completely different? And yeah, you'd be right, but here's the thing. They both represent the absolute peak of what action games can be, just in totally different ways. One's this heavy, emotional Norse saga about a father trying to break cycles and save his son. The other is pure stylish chaos, where you're juggling demons in the air while looking cool as hell. So buckle up because we're going deep into everything. Combat, story, graphics, music, replayability, the whole package. And by the end, maybe you'll know which one deserves a spot in your gaming library. Or hell, maybe you'll want both. Let's get into it.
Alright, let's start with story, because this is where these games couldn't be more different. God of War Ragnarok picks up right where 2018's game left off. You've got Kratos and Atreus, now a teenager, which brings its own problems, and they're basically trying to prevent Ragnarok, the end of everything. But what makes this story hit different is that it's not really about preventing the apocalypse. It's about family, trust, and breaking this cycle of violence that's haunted Kratos his entire life. The father-son dynamic here is genuinely emotional. You watch Kratos struggle with being a parent, trying to guide Atreus while also letting him become his own person. And Atreus, he was dealing with his identity as Loki, his growing powers, and basically teenage rebellion against an emotionally constrained god. The game explores themes of destiny versus choice, grief, and what it means to be better than your past. By the end, without spoiling anything, the story delivers some genuinely tear-jerking moments. The Norse mythology is woven in beautifully, though they take plenty of creative liberties with it. Now, in Devil May Cry 5, completely different energy. This is pure demon hunting camp with style cranked to 11. The story follows three characters, Miro, Dante, and this mysterious dude V, as they take on Reason, this super powerful demon king. But plot twist, it's all connected to Dante and Virgil, the twin brothers whose rivalry has been at the heart of this series forever. The story is very fan-servicey. If you've played the previous games, especially Devil May Cry 3 and 4, you'll love all the callbacks and character moments. The big reveal involves Virgil being split into his human side, V, and his demon side, Reason. When they merge back together, Virgil returns in all his motivated glory. Oh, and Nero, he's actually Virgil's son, which leads to this amazing climax where Nero literally tells both his dad and uncle to stop being idiots and fighting each other. Is it emotionally deep like God of War? Nah, but it's fun. It's got heart in its own way. And the family dynamics between Dante, Virgil, and Nero give it more weight than you'd expect. It's like a really good action movie where you're there for the spectacle, but the character moments still land.
Okay, combat. This is the meat and potatoes of both games, and honestly, both are incredible, but in completely opposite ways. God of War Ragnarok's combat is tactical, weighty, and brutal. You've got three main weapons, the Leviathan axe that you can throw and recall like Thor's hammer, the Blades of Chaos with their insane reach and fire damage, and the new Draupnir spear that you get later. The combat is all about switching between these weapons on the fly, managing your positioning, and making every hit count. What makes it special is how physical everything feels. When Kratos slams that axe into a Draugr's race, you feel it. The combat's got this rhythm where you're throwing the axe, recalling it, switching to the blades to handle crowds, using your shield to parry at the perfect moment. Atreus fights alongside you too, and you can command him to shoot arrows or use his abilities to stun enemies. The boss fights, absolutely phenomenal. Fighting Thor is this brutal slugfest between two gods where every hit matters. The Odin fight at the end has you switching between Kratos, Atreus, and Freyja, and is this desperate team effort to take down the Allfather who's using every dirty trick in the book. The combat demands patience and timing, especially on higher difficulties where enemies become genuine damage punches that'll punish every mistake. Devil May Cry 5 though? Man, this is where Combo Jeff goes absolutely insane. You play as 3 different characters throughout the story, and each one has their own completely unique playstyle. Nero's got his sword, Red Queen, that you can rev up like a motorcycle for extra damage, his gun, Blue Rose, and the star of the show, Devil Breakers. These are robotic arms that Nico makes for him, and each one does something different. You got Overture for electric punches, Gerbera for dodging and laser beams, Punchline that literally flies around punching enemies, and like 8 more. The catch? They break when you overcharge them, so you gotta manage your loadout. Dante is the definition of complexity. This guy has 4 different combat styles you can switch between on the fly. He's got multiple weapons for both melee and range combat. You can use Rebellion for basic combos, switch to Cavalleria, which is literally a motorcycle. It splits into 2 buzzsaws, then switch to Bell Run for boxing moves, all while swapping between guns mid-combo. The skill ceiling is through the roof. And V, he doesn't fight directly at all. He's got 3 demon familiars, Griffin, the bird for ranged attacks, Shadow the panther for melee ones, and Nightmare, this giant golem. You're controlling them to damage enemies, then V finishes him off with his cane. It's completely different from anything in this series. The combat in Devil May Cry 5 rewards creativity and style. You're not just trying to win, you're trying to look amazing while you're doing it. The game ranks you on style points, encouraging you to mix up combos, never repeat the same moves, and just go absolutely wild. The depth is unreal, and people are still finding new tech and combos years later.
Visually, both games are stunning, but achieve it differently. God of War Ragnarok on PS5 is gorgeous. The game has multiple graphics modes. You can go 4K at 30 FPS for maximum detail, or performance mode at 60 FPS, which still looks incredible. There's even a 40 FPS mode if you have a 120Hz TV that gives you a nice middle ground. The art direction is what really sells it though. Each of the 9 realms looks completely distinct. Alfheim is bright and mystical, Helheim is cold and oppressive, Muspelheim is all fire and lava. The lighting is phenomenal, especially with the Norse setting. The way light filters through trees in Vanaheim or reflects off ice in Midgard is beautiful. And the character models? The detail on Kratos' armor and weapons, the way his blades of chaos glow, it's all top tier. The game runs on a modified version of the 2018 engine, and while it doesn't have ray tracing, the artistic choices make up for any technical limitations. On PC, which released later, the game runs even better with DLSS, FSR, and XESS support. You can push it to 4K with high frame rates if you've got the hardware, and it looks absolutely nuts. Devil May Cry 5 using the RE engine is a technical showcase. The character models are probably the best in any action game. The skin shading with subsurface scattering, the way materials respond to light, even individual whiskers are modeled. In cutscenes, these characters could pass for CG movie quality. Performance-wise, Devil May Cry 5 prioritizes frame rate during gameplay. The game runs at 60 FPS when consoles and can go higher on PC. The special edition on PS5 and Xbox Series X even has a mode that goes up to 120 FPS, which for a game this fast-paced is incredible. The environments aren't as varied as God of War, but they serve the combat well. Wide arenas with good camera control. Both games are technical achievements, just focused on different priorities. Let's talk about the toys you get to play with. In God of War Ragnarok, your arsenal is focused but deep. The Leviathan Axe is your precision tool, great for single targets, can freeze enemies, and that recall mechanic never gets old. The Blades of Chaos are your crowd control. They've got massive range, light enemies on fire, and you can use them to grapple around environments now. The Drop-Your Sphere you get later becomes essential for certain enemy types and opens up new combat options with its explosive spears.
Your shield matters too. You've got different shields with different properties. Some are better for parrying, others can absorb damage and unleash it back. Then there's all the armor and enchantments you can mix and match to create builds. Want to focus on the axe? There's gear for that. Prefer the blades? Stack fire damage. The customization isn't as deep as some RPGs, but it gives you meaningful choices. Atreus grows throughout the game too. His arrows become more powerful, he gets new summons, and in certain sections, you actually play as him with his own combat style. Devil May Cry 5's weapon variety is absolutely bonkers, especially with Dante. Nero's got his sword and gun basics down, but those Devil Breakers and so much variety. Ragtime slows down time. Helger Skelter turns you into a drill. Gerberock gives you insane mobility. Tomboy powers up your weapons to godlike levels. You can carry up to 4 at a time and have to manage breaking them strategically. Dante, though, the man has an arsenal that would make the military jealous. Rebellion, Devil Sword Dante, Cavalier Angelo motorcycle saws, Balrog boxing gloves, and greaves. King Cerberus, that's what is between ice, fire, and lightning. For guns, you've got Ebony and Ivory, Coyote A shotgun, Kalina and rocket launcher. Like, all of these can be switched mid-combo. Brutal and the special edition is pure power fantasy. Yamato for precision slashes, Beowulf for meteor strikes, and an own version of Dante's arsenal. His double trigger and the Sin Devil trigger make him nearly unstoppable. The variety in Devil May Cry 5 is unmatched. You'll never run out of new combinations to try.
How do these games hold up after you beat them? God of War Ragnarok has a decent amount of post-game content. After the main story, you can explore all 9 realms freely. Take on optional boss fights like the Berserkers, who are genuinely harder than most main bosses. Hunt down collectibles and complete favor quests. There's Muspelheim challenges, Niflheim content, the works. New Game Plus adds new armor sets, enchantments, and lets you carry over all your gear and skills. You can skip cutscenes, which helps on replays. The story is long though. A full playthrough is easily 25 to 30 hours for the main story, 40 plus if you're doing side content. So replaying it is a commitment. Some people love it, others find the Atreus sections a bit tedious on replay throughs. The difficulty options are pretty standard. Easier modes for the story, harder modes that make enemies tougher. Give Me God of War difficulty is genuinely brutal and will test your mastery of the combat. Devil May Cry 5 is built for replayability. The main campaign is only about 10 to 12 hours first time through, but that's just the beginning. The game has 7 difficulty modes. You start with Human and Devil Hunter, then unlock Son of Sparta after beating it. That unlocks Dante Must Die, where enemies get their own devil triggers. Then there's Heaven or Hell, where everything dies in one hit, including you. Hell or Hell, where only you die in one hit. And Legendary Dark Titan Special Edition that spawns insane amounts of enemies. Each difficulty changes enemy placement, adds new encounters, and forces you to master the combat. Plus, you're ranked on every mission, so you're always chasing those S ranks in triple S combos. The game encourages replaying missions to perfect your performance. There's also the Bloody Palace mode that's pure combat gauntlet, 101 floors of increasingly difficult fights with all characters. Is the ultimate task to skill and where combo gods spend hundreds of hours. For pure replayability, Devil May Cry 5 wins. It's designed to be played over and over, getting better each time. God of War is more of an epic journey you might do once, maybe twice with New Game Plus.
So, which one's better? Honestly, that's the wrong question. These games are both masterpieces that excel at completely different things. God of War Ragnarok is an emotionally driven epic with weighty combat and one of the best stories gaming has ever told. It's a 25-hour journey that'll make you feel things, deliver incredible cinematic moments, and leave you thinking about themes of fatherhood and destiny long after the credits roll. If you want a game that feels like an interactive movie with fantastic combat, this is it.
Devil May Cry 5 is pure distilled action with some of the deepest combat systems ever created. It's about expression, creativity, and the pursuit of stylish perfection. The story's fun, but secondary to the gameplay. This is a game you'll replay dozens of times, always finding new combos and techniques. If you want a game that rewards skill and makes you feel like an absolute god when you nail that perfect combo, Devil May Cry 5 is your game. Your choice comes down to what you value. Want emotional storytelling with solid combat? God of War Ragnarok. Want the pinnacle of action combat with style? Devil May Cry 5. Or just play both because they're both incredible and represent the best of what this medium can offer.